Could you believe this snake right here, a banana ball python, is part of a huge debate in the reptile community? I mean, look at that cute little face. How could you not like this guy? But morphs are not something we all agree upon in the reptile industry, but me personally, I think they are fantastic. Let's slither on in. Before we even get started, we have to talk about what a morph is. A morph is the selective breeding of different colors and different patterns to create some cool variation that you see right here. So obviously a morph is not a wild type animal because it is done with some knowledge of what genetically is happening in order to create different color and pattern variation. Think of it in terms of dog breeds. Dogs come in all shapes and sizes like Great Danes, Corgis, Chihuahuas, and they all started as wolves. So dog breeds aren't morphs, but you can see how it kind of lines up to be the same type of thought process. Morphs is a term we use in reptiles, and it's about a distinct coloration or pattern difference, not like a whole dog breed being completely different. So now, since you understand what a morph is, let's talk about the 3 reasons I think morphs are awesome. Morphs have reduced poaching, and that is such an important thing for biodiversity and animals throughout the world. If you're wondering why this is moving, it's because Chico has chosen this as his little comfy station. I didn't think about that when I put this here, but I'm all for it. Enjoy yourself, Chico. In the early years of reptile keeping, there was absolutely no morphs because there was no captive population. So yes, poaching was the only way to really get reptiles, and unfortunately, that's what shaped the reptile industry of what it is today. But it doesn't mean that it's a tradition. We don't have to keep poaching to the extent we used to in order to keep these awesome animals in captivity. And that is where the beauty of the morph comes in. With the development of morphs, we've switched the focus of the pet trade from grabbing all these really cool animals from the wild to taking the animals we already have and finding out new genetic lineages that make cool colors and patterns. This also helps with traceability of our animals and understanding exactly where they came from. When shopping for a reptile, a good breeder knows the lineage of the animal you're interested in. Knowledge is everything in this situation, and just by knowing where your animal came from and its lineage, you can support biodiversity. Beyond traceability, morphs have created jobs for breeders and also help regulate sales of these animals. That topic alone is such a great reason to buy morphs. My second reason that I think morphs are awesome comes from actually my experience of working with people in the public. Chico is one of my first animals that I take out for people to meet because he is so brightly colored, and if anyone's feeling a little uncertain about meeting snakes, he's usually the one that cures them of it. His color morph is almost a little cartoony, and it makes people want to put their guard down when meeting him compared to something that's a little more scary. I know this is somewhat specific to my scenario, but I think it hits on something larger and the fact that it helps people develop compassion for these animals. If you think about it, Chico is a fantastic conversation starter. So you look at him and you want to get to know more, like why is he yellow? What's the deal with this? I haven't seen a snake like this before. And it makes people who are not well versed or understanding of the reptile world interested. I can't tell you how many people I've met that started out afraid, and by the time they met Chico and other animals, they developed this passion for biodiversity, reptiles, and understanding these animals a little bit better. I think that is absolutely huge. The third reason that I love morphs is because they have helped scientists better understand genetics and evolution. Breeding is essentially just sped up evolution with someone calling the shots. When breeders track the visual genetic mutations of the animals they breed over generations, they can understand so much about the animal. This includes how their genes are passed down, what traits are dominant and recessive, and even how small changes in their genetic structure can make a huge visual difference. What breeders do to develop morphs is actually what happens in evolution over a very long time. We understand this idea of genetic mutation so well in humans. Everything from eye color to skin color to hair color is all influenced by our genetics. Nothing about this is unnatural. In fact, this is just genetic variation that happens in diversity in animals so they can survive better. The only difference is that we're kind of doing it on purpose to make them prettier, different colors. What do you think? Do you see the upside of morphs, or do you still see the negativity associated with them? All my points are relevant in the context that we are using responsible breeding practices. We always need to prioritize ethical breeding practices over a cool new color morph. The spider gene is an important example of this. Any gene that creates neurological issues or physical issues, as pretty as it may be, should not be put into practice. Breeders need to make sure that they're giving their animals good breeding conditions in a healthy environment. The ethical and humane breeding of morphs is a great conservation tool, and it can actually help create fascination in the environment of reptiles. When paired with responsibility, morphs are a powerful tool supporting biodiversity and helping people become interested in reptiles. If you like this conversation about morphs, biodiversity, and ethics, please like, subscribe, and comment. Be part of the conversation. Thanks again for tuning in to Snakes on Sam, and stay wild and stay curious, my friend.